Valentine's Day. The perfect day to show that special someone just how much you really care about them. You can spend time with them, like watching a movie together, or buy them a gift like flowers, or chocolate, or this game, I guess. That's right, it's been over 3 years since For Honor initially released, so how does it hold up in 2020? It's gotta be better now than it was at launch, right? Right? I'm sure this is going to be a real shock for some of you to hear, but the balancing is not great in this game. I understand that it's not easy to properly balance a game that's as complex as this, but there's some pretty glaring flaws here. Real quick before I talk about this, I'll let you in on a little secret, okay? I'm not actually that great at this game. Maybe I don't really know what I'm talking about here. I know it's hard to believe, because apparently the game doesn't believe it either, and it loves to match me up with people who parry every single attack I throw at them, but I'll get to that! So on one hand, you have characters like Valkyrie, who can feint her heavy attacks into a bash, which doesn't interrupt your combo, Lawbringer, who gets to do whatever this is, and one of my most hated characters in the game, Centurion, who gets easy constant pressure on you by kicking and punching you into a wall or onto the ground. Here's the problem. One of these characters is actually one of the worst in the game if you play at a professional level. Obviously, I don't play that well, and while Valkyrie isn't the worst thing in the world for me to fight, it's still usually pretty annoying to deal with even at my slightly above average skill level. Another similar character is the Janhu, who is also pretty much worthless at high levels of play, but ridiculously strong at lower levels. The only character I hate fighting more than Centurion is any character that has a shield, which leads right into my next point. If you don't know anything about how this game works, the basic idea is that you can attack and guard in one of three directions, and there's some extra moves like guard breaking, unblockable attacks, and parrying. Sounds good, right? The problem now is the exact same problem that's been here for the last 3 years, which is that playing defensively is just way too strong. After all, why would you risk attacking and getting punished when you could just sit there and wait for the other person to do that instead? So now, when you add in characters like Conqueror, Black Prior, or Warlord, who are encouraged to wait for people to attack them so that they can counter them in some way, you get a thrill of a matchup that looks something like this.
You captured Zone C.
So at this point you might be thinking, wait, I thought you liked this game though, you made a bunch of YouTube videos on it. That's true, I did do that, and I do like this game. There's one reason that I'm still holding on to this game, and that's because of the fight system improvements that were tested a while back and are coming soon. Please. Look, even the devs know that this sucks. The plan for the rework is to make it so attacks are harder to react to while also tweaking damage and stamina to make up for it, among some other smaller changes. I never actually got to try out these changes, but from what I can tell, it's all good things. I don't see any problems with it just from reading the patches. And from what I can tell, most people like the changes. So now we just need them to remove half of the knights, and then we got ourselves a perfect game. At this point, I feel like I've done enough complaining, so why don't I talk about stuff I actually do like in this game instead? Which, by the way, it's pretty crazy to me that the player base is even this big at all right now, considering how most people thought this game was dead a couple weeks after launch. So here's all the things that are actually good about this game. Point number 1, the characters. Every single hero in this game has a different weapon and/or fighting style. There's 26 of them in the game right now, with at least 2 more coming before the end of this year. It's actually really impressive to me that no 2 characters feel the same to me. There's plenty of similarities, obviously, but none of them feel too much like each other, and it never really feels like old ideas are just being reused for the new heroes. If you're the kind of person who cares a lot about being accurate to history, then you probably aren't as happy overall with the characters as I am. One thing I know is that some people want the Knights faction to be split into Knights and Romans. Another thing is that some people don't like the Hitokiri very much because of their unconventional weapon choice and their glaring lack of armor all over their body. But I'm not that kind of person, so I just like seeing how they can make all the new heroes different and interesting every time. Point number 2, the customization. So, ignoring the fact that most of the attacker and defender colors look the same, the customization you get in this game is just so good. There's tons of different models for each character and all their different body parts and weapon parts. And there's accessories you can put on them. That's great and all, but the best part to me is definitely the executions. So these are short little animations that you can show off when you kill someone with a heavy attack in the game, and my god, I seriously could just watch some of these for hours. And maybe I have. And maybe I have a list of all my favorites per every character in the game. Just look at these! How can you not like this? Other than that, you can also buy some emotes or victory poses or effects for your characters, and some of these are actually pretty good, but the highlight for me is definitely the executions. Point number 3, long-term support. So, I remember the initial reveal for the 4th faction in the game, the Wu Lin. It was actually leaked a little bit before it was supposed to be officially revealed, but even then it still seemed like it was way too good to be true. I mean, 4 brand new characters with a brand new theme for all of them instead of one of the existing 3, and they're also working on a completely new game mode to go with it. Eventually, the reveal did happen, and it was all real, and even though Breach maybe didn't quite live up to my expectations, it's a fine enough game mode. I don't dislike it, and we're now in our 4th year of this game. We've got 4 more new characters, and even though one of them is Black Prior, I still really like where the game is at right now. Also, Yorm has funny voice lines. So this is the end of what I wanted to talk about, so you might be wondering, should I buy this game? Well, no. At least not now. And it kind of sucks that that's how I feel, because I really do like this game a lot. I did just spend the last 3 minutes trying to explain that. There's really nothing else I've played that's quite like this game, but in its current state, don't buy it. Unless you just wanted to play against AI, I guess. I miss Test Your Metal.
You lost, so
So, obviously, this video is pretty different from what you're probably used to seeing on this channel, so let me know if you thought it was good or terrible, and I might do more videos like this where I'll talk about this game, or maybe even this game. Also, if you are my real-life friend Max, then leave a comment below that says, please delete Black Prior. If you aren't my real-life friend Max and you comment this, then I don't really care.